I was very honoured recently when I was asked to make a contribution to a book which was called The Naked Presenter by Reynolds. And naked presentation is fantastic. Don't worry, I'm not going to take my trousers down. But presenting naked is really about truth and goodness and beauty in presentation. It's about being true, about being yourself, about not having a script which you're reading all the time. It's about just being open and not being afraid to seem in any way bad or in any way not properly prepared. It's about giving yourself. It's about making sure that your presentation comes not from the paper, not from your head, but from your heart. And so what we're going to see now is very much a naked presentation, because when I was asked, and I was honoured to be asked to give this talk now, I said to myself, it would not be authentic if I wrote this before I came to Centifolia. That would not be true, it would not be good. It might be beautiful, but it would not be true or good. So I said to myself, no, I'll write it during Centifolia. And so I've created this today, this morning, and I'd like to thank our wonderful musicians at Jael for helping me to bring this together. They didn't know that, but they, during their music just a few minutes ago, I was able to take all of the brainstormed ideas which I had put down on these, and I've had a really great opportunity to look into your world. And I feel very privileged to have been able to witness what you've done here. It took me back to a time when I was 16. When I was 16, I remembered that I actually wrote a poem, because sometimes, like our friend here, what's your name, sorry? What's your name? Okay, like Natalie, I write poetry. And I'd written something when I was 16, and I'm not going to read it all to you now, but I just wanted to read a few lines, because it showed me that actually, way back then, I was thinking just as we think now. Right? And I'll just give you a couple of lines out of this. It said, "There are not two of nature's countless creatures which expand until the world snaps like a rubber band which can be stretched no more." 20 years ago. And I've been trying to follow environmental and social measures ever since then. And never yet have I found a time or a place or a group of people who really seem to get those values as much as what I've seen here. So that poem was actually about an alien coming down to Earth, seeing it from above, seeing it look, as Xavier said this morning, like a field of broccoli, but then coming down and seeing what we were doing to the Earth. So that's why I was reminded of that by that metaphor. So what I'd like to do here is to just have a little quotation from a great friend of France, Sir Winston Churchill, who said that those who fail to understand the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. And so what we've seen here is we've had many lessons from all of our fantastic presenters, and I'd just like to give you a very, very short recap on what they've said to us, on some of their really key messages. So here they are. Jean-François, first of all, started off by talking about what truth and goodness and beauty can really mean. And we started off by trying to give you an empty frame where you could fit in what they mean for you. So here are a few things about truth. So Gilles Waknell talked to us about truth in marketing, truth in advertising, and the importance of truth. I was reminded of a phrase, putting lipstick on a pig, and that's very relevant for the cosmetics people here, because when you put lipstick on a pig, it makes it a little bit more beautiful, but it's still a pig. So when you're telling truth in advertising, you've got to make sure that your advertising is not just putting lipstick on a pig. You've got to tell the truth, but you have to have a truth worth telling. So don't be that pig. Right? And then Fernanda talked to us about the way that people want to buy not the best brand of the planet, but the best brand for the planet. So that's all really about truth and about embodying the image that you actually want to give to your consumers. Fernanda also said that in 10 years there will be conscious brands and there will be X brands. Which one do you want to be? I think that's really powerful. If we look in terms of goodness, we heard this morning in terms of the goodness, the working, for example, with indigenous peoples. Xavier talked to us about when we think in terms of fair trade, not just to think in terms of sharing money, but in terms of sharing. And I think it's been quite amazing. And personally, I have grown during this conference. I have grown immensely through contact with all of you and with all of your energy and all of your ideas. And when I'm inspired like that, then that's the time when I do tend to write poetry. So if I may and if I have time, I'd just like to share a short poem with you now, which I wrote during the lunch break earlier on. It's called Interdependence, and I gave a copy to the interpreters so they can try to translate it. Good luck, everyone. But if you are able to listen to it in English, then you may get some more out of it. In tribes, the human race evolved, as countless times our Earth revolved. But recently, our tribes dissolved, and thus began our fall. Where once our world was harmonized, we changed, becoming civilized. And only now we've realized this isn't good at all. For now we live in concrete sprawls with motorways and shopping malls. We rule the world and use it all with selfishness infected. And yet, as millions congregate in ever-growing city-states, community disintegrates and we feel disconnected. We all compete for scarce resource and rob the earth without remorse. Yet, with this self-destructive course, we'll lose more than we gain. The people of the Amazon, whom many of us look upon as savage, shine a light upon a way to heal our pain, to live in wa, in harmony with flora, fauna, land and sea, to live our lives sustainably and treat all men as brothers. For individuality can generate depravity and mask the true reality that people need each other. Recall how forests operate. Through mushrooms, trees cooperate. And when we likewise co-create, our energy unites. So let us think collectively, combine our minds receptively to heal our world effectively and reach amazing heights.